Hello, I hope you're doing well and welcome to AliGorithm. So this is Gargamel. He gathered all of the smurfs and he wants to kill them all. But before, he'd like to give him a chance to survive. To do so, he gave a label on top of each smurf. So in each smurf's hat, there's a number that's going from 0 to n-1, where n is the number of smurfs. And each smurf can see all of the other labels but not himself. Well, the Smurfs win and survive if at least one of them can give a correct guess of his own label. So here are the details. You have the Smurfs, they can talk, but once Gargamel is coming and he's giving each Smurf his own label, they cannot speak anymore, but each guy's guess of his own label, if none of them give a correct answer, they lose. If at least one of them give a correct answer, they'll all win. Well, I advise you to stop the video here and try to give it a guess. Well, to solve this problem, let's start with this edge and easy case. Suppose you have only two Smurfs, the first and the second. So their label are going between 0 and 1. You have only the 0 and 1. Well, to do so, the first Smurf can suppose that the two labels are the same. And the second one can suppose that the two labels are different. And as the labels are only 0 and 1, so they are either the same or different, so at least one of them is correct. Now let's try to solve this problem with n Smurfs. Well, the Smurfs can agree on an order, that's an index of each Smurf. That's going from 0 to 5, right? Because you have 6 Smurfs. Now let's focus on the sum of the labels. That's x0 plus x1, etc. till x of n-1. Unfortunately, this sum can go from 0 to n times n-1. That's 0 if all of them are 0, 1 if one of them is 1 and all of the remaining are 0, etc. until n times n-1 if all of them have the label of n-1. That's 5. But there is a smarter way to get out. It's true that this sum has a wide interval, but s modulo n can only go between 0 and n-1 because it's the remaining of the division by n, right? Well, so here's the clue. If each guy suppose that the sum is equal of its own index, we can cover all of the possibilities, right? So for instance, the first Smurf can suppose that S, that's the sum modulo n is 0, the second suppose that S modulo n is 1, etc. until the last one supposing that S modulo n is n-1, that's 5. So following this protocol, as the S modulo n is between 0 and n-1, at least one of them is right. Well, to explain it in details, in this example, the first Smurf suppose that the sum is 0, so his own label, that's x0, that's unknown, plus 0 plus 3 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3 that he can see because they are the label of the other Smurfs, are equal to 0 modulo 6, so he can deduce based on his supposition that his own label is 4. The second Smurf, following the same computation, can conclude that his own label is 0, etc., etc., etc. And here we can see that at least one of them, that's the Smurf girl, is right. Congratulations, and may Gargamel go to hell. I hope you guys liked this video. If you have any question or an alternative solution, please share it with us on the comments below.